The boy never imagined that after being bullied, the one who would stand up to protect him would be his stepsister, someone with no blood relation at all. He also never expected that she would protect him in front of a wealthy and influential classmate, and even when the principal threatened them, she still held his hand and pulled him out of that dark place, which stirred something inside the boy. However, the day they first met was actually not happy. That day, the boy's mother and stepfather had a car accident after arguing in the car. They did not survive, and an innocent passerby also could not escape. Then their house was sold to compensate the victim's family, and the boy became a homeless orphan overnight. Since he was still a minor, he needed a guardian. His cruel uncle learned that he had a large insurance policy, which was taken out for him by the boy's grandmother, and so he volunteered to become the boy's guardian, hoping to get the money when he came of age. But he didn't have a stable job and had a criminal record, so it wasn't easy for the boy. But he had no other relatives. Just when the social worker seemed about to give in, a knock on the door broke the boy's despair, and sunlight penetrated the cracks of his dark world. It was his stepfather's daughter. At first, she initially thought she had been called over to inherit property. The boy turned to look at her. He thought she was cold and heartless. The social worker explained everything to her, and only then did she realize that he was her unrelated younger brother, and she was asked to adopt him. She grew up with her mother after she was 3 years old and never knew her biological father. Now that her mother was gone, she could barely support herself. How could she possibly take care of him? His uncle immediately stepped forward and said he would adopt him, but the boy wasn't ready to give up. He ran out to grab her hand before she could leave. Looking at her puzzled face, the boy asked if she would be willing to adopt him. Just like that, their journey was about to begin. She looked at him and asked why should she adopt him. The boy knew he had to convince her, so he decided to make a deal with her. He said he had a huge insurance policy, but it wouldn't be paid out until he was an adult. If she agreed to become his guardian, he promised to share half of the money with her and also repay every penny she spent raising him. She didn't answer immediately, but asked why he couldn't let his uncle become his guardian. The boy explained that if his uncle adopted him, he might not get a single penny, and he needed the money to go to college and fulfill his family's last wish. The woman was still skeptical and didn't understand why he would trust someone he had just met. The boy assured her that he would never let her regret it. That seemed to leave her stunned for a moment. After careful consideration, the woman finally said she would take 2 days off to handle the relevant procedures with him, and then they returned to her home. From that day on, she officially adopted the boy. She changed clothes and told him that she hardly had any time at home because she was busy between classes and part-time work. The boy assured her that he could take care of himself, which seemed to make her happy. Then she left for work and he stayed alone at her home. Every night he waited for her to come home, and she always returned drunk and exhausted, crashing on the sofa. He would cover her with a blanket, worried about her safety. The boy did not exactly know what her job was, but he knew a young woman should not come home drunk at night. The next morning, he handed her some honey water and gently warned her not to do that kind of work again. She was stunned, then angrily asked, "What kind of work are you talking about? Do you think I'm doing something bad?" She told him that she liked money and could work anywhere to earn it. Dignity didn't matter to her. The boy realized he had said the wrong thing. Before he could explain, she coldly interrupted, "If it weren't for your grandmother's insurance, we wouldn't have any connection at all. You'd better mind your own business. Once you turn 18, our relationship is over." The boy knew she was angry and that she only said it out of frustration. It wasn't until much later that he understood why she drank every night. She had to earn money for both of them, and every glass of alcohol was for survival. She never mentioned him to her colleagues, always saying she was just taking care of a little cat. After the argument, she regretted it. Before she could think of a way to resolve it, he appeared at her workplace. As he walked toward her step by step, she asked him, "What are you doing here?" The boy said, "From now on, I will come to pick you up from work every day." She suddenly said that she didn't need any child to pick her up, but he ignored her and grabbed her bag. She hadn't caught up yet, and he glanced back to see her lowering her head, silently following him. So they walked in silence, and finally, she apologized for that day's incident. The boy shook his head and said it wasn't her fault, it was his fault. Maybe it was the beautiful moonlight, maybe the gentle night breeze. They didn't speak, they just walked.